What's up, traders?
Traders, hope everyone's having a good trading day. Hope you guys got to play some nice breakdowns because there was a lot of good plays, and then also some good supports came in on a few stocks here that I wanted to talk about. But here's NVDA. It finally broke, and unfortunately, your boy did not get this breakdown. I missed it. It wasn't that easy of like an entry this morning unless you just jump right in and got it. And I just wasn't super convinced that it wasn't just gonna break down and then rip back up. And honestly, I probably should have just jumped in when we broke the lows. But it's just like I don't like to just jump in on stocks, even though it's strong downtrending. It was a very strong downtrend that we put in here, so you pretty much could have entered anywhere between here and started to make a shit ton of money. But I finally got the break that I've been looking for, and I was not there for it. So it's unfortunate, but I was hoping for it to come back up here. When it started buying up around this point, I was like, all right, it's going to come back up, and I'm going to short it up in this range. But it never happened. It just fell right through the floor, and I'm like, all right, now I don't want to chase it. It's already almost at 260s. So we ended up bouncing down in this low. So when you get price action like that, it's you might end up getting to get that back test that you're looking for later, and sometimes you just don't want it. But that's going to be something for tomorrow to see if this thing does make its way back up into this range here and potentially retest it and then hopefully fail off of it and give us a better entry for tomorrow. As of right now, I do have it drawn in here as a potential of a falling wedge, but I'm not really too confident on that being the case. But it is leading us into the support that I want, which is down here in the 255s. The first target of mine was 262 to 260, so we obviously hit below that. And now we're getting a nice little bounce here, a little breakout of a potential area around this 260, 240, if it even can continue to hold it. We'll have to see how everything plays out. The wick high of 263.15 could also mean, a little bit of something in this range right here. It's 263s, but I'm not sure how that's going to play out. So we'll just have to, keep an eye on it. But today's given us a little bit of a range here for tomorrow to potentially start playing from 259.68 at the candle body close, which maybe on the 1 minute will show us something different. Let's go check actually so we can get a little better idea of the range. Well, it's roughly 259.01 up to currently, is it 72? 62? Yeah, roughly somewhere in this range right here. 263 to 259. So that's our first initial range. Now, obviously, right now it's kind of pushing in this, what I drew as a pattern, which might not be anything. This might be nothing, just something I was watching. Maybe this thing can work its way back down, come back up, and maybe it ends up chopping within this range, and it ends up being a new area for us to watch for a breakdown or potentially trade within, just like it had the range up here and the range up here. It seems to find itself in a decent range. This is only a $5 range. This was, $5 range. So do we get into like some kind of $5 range here? It's possible as it works its way down to some lows. So that I like to try to spot those ranges ahead of time, and that's just what I'm speculating for now. If it does pop back up and retest this, maybe this area up here will be a good potential resistance tap. And if that breaks through, then we still have the 267s to 266.50s to watch. But I didn't do too much today, actually. I did try. Oh, yeah, you can see also, lastly, on the 1 hour, I have that pennant here. You can see the 21s coming down across the 50. So it's possible when that crosses, that could give it another leg down. And if it does break the 255s, we do have 253 area, which is the 100 EMA down there. So we might still have some ways to go, but we'll have to watch and see how it plays out. Um, another trade that I missed. I wasn't on my game today, to be honest. I'll tell you one thing that I did really well on, and I wasn't at the right time. But so Tesla here, I was watching this pattern here. You can see I have it charted out, and we were bouncing around in between here, and I just couldn't find the level to short. So I was looking to start shorts in, where was it? Oh, I think I was shorting up in here. So I started adding in shorts probably right around here, and then it popped up, and I closed it out. I got stopped out when we started closing above this, and then the next candle just failed. We got caught up between here, and I was starting to look at this, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's gonna, put in a little double bottom and come back up and test this range, but it ended up just breaking right on through, and it bounced again, and I just missed it, and this. I just wasn't on my game. Not every day is going to be perfect, I guess. That's just how it is. So once you realize that, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? I'm just doing something. I'm doing something wrong or whatever. You just got to stop trading, and that's what I did. So I was like, all right, I'm sitting on my hands for the day. I don't want to lose. So this was only like a $40 loss. It wasn't like anything crazy. It was just literally just a small move. And if I would have just held it and didn't get faked out from this stupid little candle, and I looked maybe zoomed out or something, I probably wouldn't have had that happen to me. But unfortunately, I did. And that it is what it is. But the thing is, where did we come down to? We zoom out here. What was the area for Tesla I said to go long at, or I would be looking to go long at? 184.40. Oh, I mean, sorry, 185.40. Look it out almost perfectly. What did we hit? 85.44. So we must tapped my yellow support to the T, and what a rally it was off of that. So now we're coming back into the range of resistance here. Now, I don't think this is gonna. I mean, it could rally up to like 190. Maybe it comes back down. Maybe if it just does something like that, I'll be pissed that I didn't get this. But hopefully we can get another drop in, and if this thing decides to make a higher low, then maybe we can go back up and start testing some levels above again. Because still, back testing this range is still a beautiful, beautiful play that we could potentially have. This is the 100 EMA down here on the hourly too at the 85, and it still is curling up here. So even though there is some bearish EMAs going on here, this could potentially set up for something depending on how it plays out. As long as we continue to control this level, this can turn into a very nice play. So maybe I'll be watching for that tomorrow if we can get a nice dip back in and roll back down. I might take a scoop on that and actually try a long. I don't know yet. We'll see how the market's reacting tomorrow. Okay, so this is what I did. So yesterday, I've been talking about BABA for a while now, right? And I was talking about how I've been shorting this 88 level. I'm still bullish on it. I like that it's holding the 85.30 to 85.50, and I want longs eventually off that level. Well, end of day, after I noticed the triple top, and we were talking about this last night in the video, I was saying if BABA was able to hold up from this triple top, it's going to freaking explode because this is it would be a bullish thing. And at the end of the day, I forgot to mention in my video, I don't think I mentioned it, I actually was looking at this here as a little flag, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a couple $90 calls for BABA. And I just had them expiring 3/31, and it fucking opened up today because I'm like, you know what? It's been opening up every day up in the 88s. So if I can buy some calls here, $90 calls here, and we open up in this range, then the fourth test is going to be above. Most likely is going to be a breakout. So that was what I was betting on when I took the calls here. And I opened up this morning, and we're up in this range, 97s. And I just closed them right away because honestly, my expectation was we're going to open up at 91, and I was going to be up 100 or $200, right? Because I bought it for $60. $60. It opened up $740, and then it sold off a little bit down to $700 profit, and I closed it right out. And then I didn't look at Baba. Well, I looked at Baba every once in a while because I was looking at this, and I did see it looking at like a double bottom, but I was just like, maybe it's going to come back down, at least back test the top of my box, which it didn't do. And this actually would have been a great long right here because it did show that double bottom, and I was seeing it. I was seeing it curl, and I'm like, I've seen double bottoms like that and just fail like that. So I was like, maybe that's what's going to happen. The market's pretty weak. Maybe Baba will follow. Well, Baba just led its own little fucking path here. So now what's Baba doing? It's just kind of making, it could be a little of a, I don't know if I want to call it a topping pattern, but I'm going to give it a little more time. It's not really showing us too much. I mean, it has a little bit of a range right here, I guess you could say. There's a range on Baba around that 98, in the upper area here is around 98.80. So it's in a little 80-cent range. Can it continue to hold through here? Does it start poking its head through and turning this into resistance? And then maybe it kind of makes a little potential downtrend just for the short term to retest some of maybe these levels, this 93 area again. That wouldn't be too bad if it does. And if it decides to break through the 98.70, then, which it's holding the support right now, the 98s, but we'll have to see because it is getting close to potentially testing these lows, but buyers are definitely here right now. But yeah, this is the little channel, so it could be just a nice little bull flag that ends up breaking to the upside. If you look at the top bodies on the 1 minute, that's up at 99.43. So we're getting close to 100, which is going to be a pretty spicy level here, a psychological level. So it's possible Baba just gets a nice wick to 100, gets shorted in, fake out, and then continues to chop, and then eventually breaks to the downside. My overall target is 101.70, but I don't know. Gonna have to wait and see how this plays out. I can't comment too much on it. We got the 100 on the 4 hour, literally right where we are. We got the 200 EMA on the 4 hour down at 92.50 or so. So I don't know if we'll chop through this range or if Baba decides to break out even further, but we had a very nice call on Baba that paid us a lot of fucking money today, and it pretty much made my day. I didn't have to do any trading, really. So, like I said, I lost $40 on one trade today, and that was all I did. And I was like, I'm not going to trade today. I already made 700 on that, and I'm going to take a little break for the day and see how the market reacts. And so I'm not too confident on how everything's going to play out tomorrow. We did have a lot of bleeding. We have CPI data on Friday. SPY is pretty much chilling between the 200 EMA at 95.18 and the 21 EMA. This is on the 4 hour at around that 394-ish. So that's where we're kind of in this small little range there. It is starting to get a push back up. I have a 395.80 level. From where? I don't know what. Was that that was the sideways. All right, so that's just a little range here. You can see last time it got a little bit of a rejection at the 95.80 or so. Broke down. Let's see. Let me just double check it. Two little levels here. That's probably the 95.80. So yeah, somewhere in this 95.80 area, that could be an area for SPY to come back up and test tomorrow. And if it can get back above and hold support on it, we still have this key resistance of 96.33. And looks like it's getting a little bit of a pump now, but it is struggling to get above this 95.18 area too. So, maybe it's making its own little, I don't know. I can't really make any calls on this right now. But it looks like there's a range potentially from 96.30 down to the lows of the 94s. So depending on how SPY decides to play it, if anyone's trading SPY, that would be kind of your range to watch. And then there's a couple levels in between as well. But I think overall, most likely, either it's going to be a channel between 94 and 95s, or it's going to be a channel between 96.50s and 94s. So I don't know how it's going to play out yet, but we'll have to wait and see, as it's looking like it's slowing down a little bit here, but we'll see. I'm not too worried. But Apple, did anyone get any trades on Apple? Because we did go over a nice little trade idea on Apple of this being a descending triangle. And oh yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Last night I was talking about a couple levels. I was looking at the 157.77 with you guys, and then I was looking at the 158.20, and I wasn't sure which level was going to be the one to short from. And look at how it played out on the 1 minute. Started closing candles below. Still, I hope this video still comes out good because I just realized I had my AirPod in the whole damn time. We had candle bodies closing below, and then we couldn't have candle bodies closing back above that same level we marked out last night on the video, and it came all the way down. So the first area I was looking for support was a 56.40. We actually did break below, started trending below. So, but then we ended up popping back up and reclaiming it. So now it looks like we had a couple dips down. So this might not even be as valid as the 56. Well, I don't know. But you can see we got a nice rally off it right now. And it just pretty much is coming back up to the top of this falling wedge, roughly. So we'll have to see if this turns into a channel for Apple now. And this ends up being the range that we have to watch and then see which way it's going to break. Is it going to retest this potentially? Or is it going to fail here, maybe double bottom, then retest this upper trend line or that previous resistance, or if it comes down to my 54 area. So that was another good short idea that I had last night. Also, I did not take it. So anyway, well, just checking in. Wanted to go over a couple things with you guys, and hopefully you guys had a good trading day. And let me know down in the comments below if you guys did make any nice plays today. All right, peace.